The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Oh, hell no!
Whatever.
The following program contains opinions expressed by the Dead Zone. If you find this broadcast offensive, lighten up, candy ass.
What?
Oh my gosh.
It's a radio show.
Hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
Power up request received. Initiating systems. Powering up transmitters. Welcome to the Dead Zone.
Wait a minute. Hear this.
WDZI Digital Broadcast.
Dead Zone Paranormal Radio Show. Coronavirus, man. I hope you guys are all hunkered down and taking care of yourselves and, you know, the social distance. I can't speak again. Imagine that. Social distancing. What is it, like 6 foot or something? I don't know. It's a normal life for me, though. I stay away from people. We got a good show tonight. Artie Hoffman, nationally renowned speaker, healer, and radio personality, also an author. I believe his book is Angels and Answers. That's also his website. Pretty sure about that. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing okay. Please sit back, relax if you're shut in. Enjoy the show. But first, it's Michelle.
Hey, this is Michelle. Join me Sundays at 8 o'clock Eastern for paranormal news and events.
Paranormal news.
Hey everyone, welcome to Paranormal News and Events with Michelle. So, scrolling through Coast to Coast AM's website, and I found a couple stories about ghosts that I thought I would read to you. So this one here was on January 21st of this year. Ghost panic grips village in Thailand. So I don't know if anyone else has ever heard about putting red shirts outside your home to ward off evil spirits. I've never heard of this personally, but according to this story, Thailand, this is something that they do in Thailand. So residents of a village in Thailand have taken to hanging red shirts outside their homes in an effort to fend off what they believe is a sinister spirit responsible for a series of mysterious deaths. The proverbial ghost panic reportedly erupted after a whopping 13 men in the community died over the course of the last 3 months. Since the unfortunate individuals were seemingly healthy when they passed away, concerns began to spread throughout the village that their demise was due to a vengeful spirit. Specifically, it is suspected that the murderous apparition is the ghost of a widow who was roaming the streets and taking the lives of unsuspecting men. When the 13th victim was discovered and dead in the middle of a road last week, many villagers became convinced that their community was being targeted by the spirit. As such, they turned to a traditional Thai method for protecting against malevolent ghosts, hanging a red shirt outside their homes. Attached to the crimson clothing is a sheet of paper with a message warning families with only one son that they are particularly vulnerable to the widow's ghost. While it is likely a matter of personal belief as to whether or not the tactic will prove successful in avoiding the wrath of the spirit, one assumes that it has provided some peace of mind to those worried that they'll become the 14th victim of the evil apparition. This next story is called Ghost Trips Worker at Supermarket in Scotland. A weird piece of security camera footage from a supermarket in Scotland shows a worker suddenly tumbling to the ground, and the owners of the store claim that her fall was caused by a ghost. The odd incident reportedly occurred on Wednesday at the Burl Tree Hill supermarket in the community of Irving. In the video, an employee named Elise can be seen stocking some shelves. The mundane task quickly takes a strange and painful turn when she goes to step on a crate, but it moves away from her foot and she falls to the floor. In a post on the store's Facebook page, the supermarket shared the video and declared that Elisa's stumble was due to their resident ghost named Stacy, who took issue with the worker flirting with her man. Fortunately, they said the woman was not injured in the accident, aside from some general soreness from the fall, and claimed that when we reviewed the CCTV, we noticed the crate appeared to move without being touched. While perhaps only a psychic medium could truly say if the store is haunted, skeptical observers have taken issue with the video and that it does appear as if Elisa's foot briefly brushes up against the crate and causes it to move away from her as she attempts to step on it. As such, it would seem that Stacy, if she exists, is probably off the hook when it comes to this particular mishap. So yeah, I watched the video repeatedly because they do zoom in on it so that you can see a close-up. And in the zoom version of it, yeah, you can see that the tip of her foot kind of hits the crate, which makes it slip away. And maybe she didn't feel it or she didn't want to say it, but it looks that way to me anyway. So if you want to go to Coast to Coast AM, to their website, you can view the video for yourself and decide if you think it was a ghost or her foot. Thanks for listening. Coming up next is Paranormal Events. On upcomingcons.com is a list of horror conventions. On March 13th through the 15th is Monster Mania Con in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. March 20th through the 22nd is Horror Hound Weekend in Indianapolis. Also, Horror Hound Weekend in Cincinnati, Ohio. Same dates, March 20th through the 22nd. I have a feeling that's a mistake. Horror Hound Weekend in Indianapolis was just not that long ago. It was in, I believe, August of 2019, so that's kind of an odd date. So don't take that one too seriously unless you check in on it. Dark Side of the Con, a celebration of the dark aesthetic, that is in Parsippany Troy Hills, New Jersey, March 27th through the 29th. In Edison, New Jersey, the New Jersey Horror Con and Film Festival, March 27th through the 29th. There's the Full Moon Festival in Nashville, Tennessee, April 10th through the 12th. The Bayou City Paranormal Symposium is in Pasadena, Texas, April 25th and 26th. Texas Frightmare Weekend in Dallas, Texas, May 1st through the 3rd. Monsterpalooza, Pasadena, California, May 8th through the 10th. There's, in England, is the HorrorCon UK Something Wicked, Rotherham, Sheffield, England, May 16th through the 17th. Spooky Empire, Orlando, Florida, May 22nd through the 24th. Carolina Fear Fest in Raleigh, North Carolina, May 22nd through the 24th. And I'm going to stop at the end of May there. And next week I'll talk about some of the events that we will be attending this year and give you some information on some other conventions coming up. Talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. Bye, guys.
Hello, this is Christopher St. Booth, and you're listening to The Dead Zone.
Millions of people are affected by the Para-X bug.
I realize that it is something that will stay with me for the rest of my life and long into the afterlife as well.
If you have the Para-X bug, there is hope.
With a nightly visit to the Para-X website and intensive past life regression therapy, I can control it.
Even with the Para-X bug, I can still lead an active life of radio show hosting, paranormal investigating, evidence checking, attending conferences, book writing, keeping up with the latest technology, and still keep my 40-hour-a-week day job.
If you think that you have the Para-X bug or know someone who might, visit para-x.com. And remember, you are not alone.
I am not alone.
I
am not alone.
The Para-X bug may cause the urge to chase shadow people, visit exotic haunted locations, adopt a pugwudgie, or spend all of your time trying to figure out the laws and principles of paranormal investigation. Listening to Para X may increase these effects.
Sudden visions of full-body apparitions, or feeling the covers being pulled off you in the middle of the night by unseen hands may also be signs of exposure to the Para X bug.
The use of Para X may be habit-forming, and an overwhelming desire to provoke spirits may be a serious side effect. If these symptoms last more than 4 hours, you should quickly consult a trusted witch and have her cast a "What the hell are you thinking?" spell on you. If symptoms persist, please contact the Para X Radio Network Homeland Security Team for further instructions.
The Para X bug may cause urges for late-night speaking with spirits and ghosts. Listening to Para X may increase these effects. Overwhelming desire to try provoking a spirit may be a serious side effect. Those with Para X bug effects lasting more than 4 hours should consult Para X or see a professional. Sudden outbursts at the mention of orbs may be a sign of exposure to the Para X bug. Use of Para X may be habit-forming. Use caution when engaging in Para X chat.
Your source for everything paranormal, Para X.
Are you ready? I'm saying, are you ready?
If all radio stations in town were palm trees, we'd be the one with the biggest coconuts.
Here are the one, the only Dead Zone.
Artie Hoffman. The man is an intuitive life coach, a medium, a healer, a motivational speaker. How did you start all that, man? And by the way, you can go right ahead and please introduce yourself, because I'm an introvert, and so I don't know anybody.
Well, I think you just did.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Right. What is that going? Is someone calling you?
No. What's that?
I keep hearing a buzz coming in. That's all right. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Well, that's fine.
It's all good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Be sure to stay close to your phone, though. We're having trouble hearing you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah. Anyway.
Are we good now?
Again, yes. Artie Hoffman, Angels and Answers, and that's your website and a book that you've wrote, right?
Yes, it is. Angels and Answers. It's a book about.
Did you hear that? Did you not hear that again? We might have to start over. I don't know what's going on. There's someone keeps trying to call in, and it's not us, I don't think. Is it you?
No, it's people texting me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're popular. Good for you.
Yeah, I can't stop that.
Yeah, good for you. Oh, okay. Anyway, we'll get beyond that. Whatever. Okay, that's what that is. What you're hearing is people trying to get a hold of Artie, man, because he's in demand.
I read people all around the country. So when I do psychic readings for people call me in by phone.
Yeah.
And I connect to their energy source, and I tell people what's going on in their life, and
right.
I tell people the outcomes of what they want to know, or connect to their loved ones in heaven. So, it's like Barry Manilow would say, I do it all, it seems.
Right. Hey, don't cut down. You guys, I love some Barry Manilow, man. That's what I grew up on, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. You are a nationally renowned speaker, a healer, and a radio personality, so you're used to this, right?
I'm very used to all this, yeah. It's just, I've been doing it for 31 years now, so...
Wow.
You do get used to it.
Yeah.
And, I feel very blessed to be put in this position. I don't take anything for granted with my gifts, because, it's, the angels and the spirits in the other dimension that feed me all this information, and I just share it with everybody.
They're another one. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
When people tell me, that I've been accurate on this, that, and the other thing, it's just, well, that's only because I've been given all the answers. It's like the movie Ghost,
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Well,
Whoopi Goldberg, and I have
yeah. Okay.
that's
Yeah.
talking to me, and I'm feeding the information according to what's given me.
Well, let me ask you this then. I'm sure you've been asked this 1,000 times, but when did that start? When did that actually happen? Were you a kid back in the day? Go ahead. I'm sorry. You got more coming in, man. They're just breaking you up. Yeah, go ahead.
27 years old.
27. Okay. Okay.
I got a postcard sent to me in the mail.
Yeah.
And it said, "I'd like to develop your psychic ability and intuitiveness. Come to the Edgar Casey Foundation."
Okay.
Just one day seminar.
Okay, that's cool.
That's quite interesting. And so I asked my wife, who was my wife at the time, if she wanted to go with me. And she says, "I don't give a crap about that. You can go if you want. I don't." And I just did it.
Oh, man. Well,
if I do it. I wasn't looking at it like it was the answer to my prayers.
Right.
I just did it just for shits and giggles.
Right.
And so anyway, I went there, and they taught you how to open up your heart and mind to be 100% unconditional. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, unbelievable that I was capable. They taught you how to just get in the zone. And it was awesome. It really was. It was just an awesome feeling knowing that I could meet somebody for the first time and telling them things about themselves. And I was like blown away.
Yeah, and that was that was at 27.
Yeah, that was at 27.
Man, people are trying to get a hold of you right now. I swear to God, all I hear is
Don't get it on your phone.
That's fine. That's whatever. 27 though. I mean, that's kind of old, right? I mean, most of the people I talk to, they started out young and it was this, that, or the other thing, and then they tried to pursue it.
Born with a gift.
Yeah, and they tried to pursue it, but you're like, I was 27 years old, and then it happened. That's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, and then I just did it for the fun of it, for friends and family, for the next few years.
Yeah.
And people were telling me how accurate I was with my information.
Yeah.
And then when I got into a bind financially, and I said, you know what, I need to start making some extra money. And so I said, I know how to reach people.
Yeah.
So I threw an ad in the paper. And people, and it said, if I don't pull through, no charge. And 90% of the people paid me, and then just by word of mouth, it just took off like wildfire.
Right. You just did say, like we do not charge for anything we do, right?
Yeah.
You said
no
charge.
I do charge.
Oh, you do charge. Okay. All right.
Absolutely. I make a good living at doing what I'm doing, and I'm worth it.
Yeah.
And
well, if you're good at something, never do it for free, right? If you're good at something, never do it for free.
A lot of people will say to me, there are some, not a lot, some people will say to me, well, if you're doing God's work, then why are you charging? Well, the same reason why doctors, priests, ministers...
Because you have to eat. You have to eat. Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
So
I understand.
If I just charged a very minimal rate or no rate, then I would have to get a regular job, and my time would not be as available or accessible to the public.
Exactly. I understand that, yeah.
How could I have possibly read for 31,000 people if I had a regular job?
You don't have time. There's no time. Exactly. I get it, yeah.
So I get paid for what I do, and I have 0% guilty conscience about it.
Right.
And, and I'm an entertainer, and I'm a healer, and... and I do, lots and lots of one-on-ones. Yeah.
And you can't talk about just for general ethics, you can't talk about your one-on-ones, and I understand that. We can't either, what we do, residentials and that kind of thing.
I could tell you some really cool stories that you'll like.
Okay, well, we don't want to compromise the families or anything.
I'm not telling you the names of the people.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, love to hear something really cool, yeah.
So I have a couple of really cool stories you're going to like.
Okay.
So here I am, I'm reading for this one girl at a party. I'm doing a party.
Yeah.
And, when I connect to people's loved ones who passed away, I always tell people to bring a picture of their loved one.
Yeah.
So I'm reading for this one lady at the party, and I'm looking at her mother's picture, and at the end of her reading, she said to me, she goes, I'm having a hard time actually believing that you're communicating to my mother.
Yeah.
She said, well, some of the things you gave me, was kind of general, but it did have to do with her. But then there were things that you told me that were very specific to her.
Right.
That was her. And so, I mean, I give you credit for all what you said. It had to relate to her. But what I'm saying is I'm having a hard time actually believing you're communicating to my mother.
All right.
I said, I can only share with you what the spiritual world gives me.
Yeah.
So I said, let me look at your mother's picture one last time, because her reading was over at this point.
Right.
So I looked at her mother's picture, and I said, your mom is showing me cows. She goes, well, what do you want me to do with that? I said, I don't know, your mom is showing me cows.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I started seeing all the cows stand up, and they were all mooing loud.
Yeah.
So I looked at her, and I said, I don't know why I'm doing this, but... And I looked at her, and I said, moo.
Yeah.
She started to cry.
Oh.
And I said, what's the matter? And she's pointing to her mother's picture, and she goes, that's her name. I go, what are you talking about? Her name is Muriel, but everyone would call her Moo.
Moo. Okay, I get it. Yeah, that's crazy. That's cool. Yeah.
There's another lady who I did a reading for.
Yeah.
And well, anyway, she came into my place for a reading.
Yeah.
And she said to me, she goes, Art, she goes, every day for the last 2 years, I've been thinking about you every single day.
Right.
I was kind of flattered. I wasn't attracted to her, but I was flattered nonetheless.
Well, yeah, of course.
I said, why were you thinking about me every single day?
Yeah.
She said, because you did a reading for me here 2 years ago, and I sat down at your kitchen table, and you held my hand. And as soon as you held my hand, you started singing the song, Highway to Hell.
Yeah.
I'm going to the highway to hell.
Good old AC/DC. Yeah, AC/DC. Yeah, okay.
And so I said to you said to me that if I don't stop doing what I'm doing, I'm going to get caught at doing something I shouldn't be doing.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to be in jail.
Uh-oh.
And so I didn't listen to what you had to say. And 1 week later, I got caught at doing something I should not be doing.
Yeah.
And I got thrown in jail for 2 years.
2 years?
Every day I woke up. Every day I woke up thinking, why didn't I listen to Artie?
Right. Well, that's amazing. That's very cool. I mean, that's, yeah. Good
you
gosh,
know,
man.
so,
yeah.
When I developed a relationship with the spiritual world, I developed a relationship with angels and God.
Yeah. Are you aware of the book?
We have a chemistry of communication. And so they throw me images in the way they know that I'll understand. And when I get these messages, I deliver it to the people, whoever I'm reading for.
Well, I wanted to ask you, there's a book that I've had for years. I've got the Necronomicon, all the old, all the books and all that junk. There is one book, a dictionary of angels. Do you have that one?
Yeah.
Do you buy into that at all?
Yeah.
You do? Okay. All
100%.
right. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, what's the Necronomicon, Dictionary of Angels, and there's that's here locally, Who's Your Folklore, a couple of books like that. But so you do buy into that. You do get that, right?
When you say buy into it, what do you mean by buy into it?
Do you really believe that this dictionary, let's use that as an example, this dictionary, Who's Your Folklore is nothing but stories, right? It's just like, passed down.
A great dictionary that I personally have, was written by Susan Gregg.
Yeah.
And she explains about all the saints and all the angels.
Right. That's what this is, basically, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And it gives all the sinew and the purpose and the meaning of each angel.
Okay, but what I was trying to get at is, do you buy into that, or do you think it's just someone that wanted to make a little bit of money, wrote a book, and it just, it's out there now? So.
No, not at all. I feel like 100%.
Okay. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. It's on my bookcase across the hall from me. It's, I've got a Dictionary of Angels. I've got Who's Your Folklore. I've got all kinds of stuff. Necronomicon. What do you think about that, by the way? Do you buy into that at all? At all?
Buy into what?
The Necronomicon, or how do you pronounce it? Necronomicon or whatever. Yeah.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, it's an old book. It's kind of like.
I don't understand. maybe there's a title to something I already understand. I just don't understand the title of what you're giving me.
Okay, it's a really, really old book. NECRONOMICON. Really old paperback thing. It's been out for years.
I never saw it, so I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
To give an honest.
It's once again, in my opinion, and I wish these guys were here because I'm the skeptic of the group, and I will push and push and push until I find something substantial. But we kind of back each other up, I guess you would say, or Michelle and Dustin.
Well, put it this way: spirituality could break all the laws of physics.
Oh yeah.
So when you're trying to physically comprehend how something is possible,
yeah,
and just because it's unexplainable according to your physical perception, according to your perceptions, like how is that possible? How is that possible?
Yeah, or your beliefs. Your beliefs.
It also depends, how much how powerful your belief system is too.
Exactly.
But the bottom line is, it still is what it is, whether you believe in it or not. It still is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people who have had stage 4 cancer, and then somebody who is talented and gifted or blessed to have healing energy has walked up to somebody, has said a prayer, and used their body, asking God for His love and forgiveness and compassion upon the person,
right,
to be able to heal the person. And within 24 hours, that cancer is 100% gone out of their body.
Right.
So you say, well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. No, it has happened thousands and thousands of times.
Oh, I believe that. I believe that 100%. I had cancer. I had jaw cancer about 5, 6, well, maybe it's been about 7 years ago now, and it's gone. Thank God.
Yeah, thank God is right.
Absolutely. And I do 100% believe in God. I was just asking you. I'm sorry. I was just asking you about these books I've had in here. I read them all. I've read them for years.
I don't. See, put it this way. When I read books, I haven't read those books you're talking about.
Right.
But when I read books, I'll find a lot of the information very fascinating. But it doesn't mean that I buy into their.
You don't buy into it, exactly. That's what I was asking you.
I don't always buy into their thought process of how they look at life or look at situations.
Right.
And but a lot of it, or a good part of it, is theory.
Yes.
It's not.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's theory, and it's what you believe in and what's important to you.
Right. I mean, we've got a lot of friends in the community there that they've written books and they've done things, and it's not a hard fact. It's what they believe, and if you know that person, you trust that person, then you get it, right?
Right. Now, I've done a lot of meditations.
Yeah.
Through the people who I've met, who are extremely talented and gifted, and through my meditations, to know. Just because, I'll give you a perfect example for those people who say they don't believe in God because they can't physically see Him or her, however you want to describe.
Right.
I said because you see the gifts of God on a daily basis, and it's like electricity. You don't see electricity, but you see it work every time you flick the switch. You don't see electricity, but you see the works of electricity.
And some people will argue with you that's science. That's not,
understandable. But you also have, just because it's a cloudy day and you can't see the sun doesn't mean that the sun is not shining.
Isn't there, exactly. Yeah, I agree with you.
It's there. Just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean that it's not there.
Right.
And so, the gifts that God has given us, He has made it so exceptionally beautiful and easy for us to have at our beckon, that He makes it look so easy that it seems like it's effortless. It seems like, it's almost like looking at a good gymnast or a good guitarist or a good drum player. It's like, oh my God, they play that so well, or that was such an incredible act.
exactly. And why can't I do that, right? Right, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I could do that, not realizing that they practice for 8 hours a day.
Every day, exactly, yes.
For the last 20 years, so they make it look that easy.
Yeah.
So,
and just like everything else, everything you do in life takes practice every day. You can't dabble with
if
it,
you want
right?
to be exceptional at it.
Yeah, you can't just dabble. Even what we're talking about right now, I believe, if you want to know what you're talking about, you want to understand what you're talking about, you have to study. You've got to read everything. You know what I mean? It's like someone, like you just said, with a guitar, you can buy a guitar and you can pick around with a few notes and think they're great, and they're not. It doesn't work that way.
Right. And so, it's like even when you go to a sermon, you go to church, you go to temple, and you could listen to whatever they have to preach. And just because it came from the minister or the rabbi or the priest or whatever, it's like, you only take with you what resonates within your soul, within your heart.
What hits you, what you believe,
You have to believe in everything, what they are saying.
Right.
But, this person is speaking from their heart.
Right.
But at the same token, it doesn't mean you have to believe in their belief system.
Right. You relate to the other person, their story, whatever happens. Every person is different. I understand that.
You might only take 5 to 10% of what they have to say. And
right.
Say, wow, that was
right. It's just it's like a TV show. I mean, it resonates. I'm sorry. It hits someone. They understand it. They feel like they relate to it, and some other people are like, I don't even care. I don't, whatever. That kind of thing. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I was making sure I got it right there. Yeah. Yeah, I get you, man. I understand that 100%. I mean,
and it's what feels right for you might not feel right for me, or what feels right for you might feel great with your neighbor or not your other neighbor, and that's okay. It's like, the bottom line is, so long as you're a good person to your fellow man, that's the most spiritual, religious thing that you could possibly do on earth.
You're a good person to your fellow man and to yourself. You have to.
Not how much you go to church or how much you pray.
No,
that's only a small section of it. That's
Absolutely.
Only a small part.
Yeah, I used to be. Well, we won't even go into that. I mean, yeah, but I agree with what you're saying. What you were saying. I used to be really active in the church a long time ago, even to the point of going to nursing homes and doing evangelistical things. I quit doing that a long time ago. I looked and I saw, at least in my denomination, it was nothing but just a fight between this side and that side, and a clique between a clique. Every church I ever went to has been that way. It's the up front, we're the greatest thing in the world or whatever, and you should, you suck because you're backslidden or you don't believe. But then inside, it's like they fight between each other, and I'm like, I'm done, man. Does that make sense at all?
I'm gonna share with you, being that you told me that, I'm gonna share with you a quick story.
Okay.
So back in the 1960s, I read this when I was about, this is going back about 30 years ago, 35 years ago. I read this story. No, actually longer than that, 40 years ago.
Right.
But I never forgot the story.
Probably about my age too, then, I guess.
There you go.
I guess you are. I don't know. Maybe you are. Maybe you're not. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go right ahead. Yeah.
So there was a black gentleman who, in the 60s, he brought his family down south because he was starting a new job, a new occupation in the southern states in the 60s. And you know how hard it is for a black family to make it out there.
That's where I come from. Yeah, that's where I come from. Yeah.
So, right. And so what happened was, it was a Sunday morning, and so the black gentleman wanted to go to church to find out what church him and his family could go to, but he wanted to feel it out himself. So he goes up to this one church, and there was a gentleman at the door, and he said, "Sorry, sir," he says, "we don't allow black people in our church."
All right.
He goes, "All right, God bless you," and he goes down to the block, and he goes to another church, and then there was a sign on the door. He says, "This church does not entertain any black people to enter into our church."
All right.
And so he went to the third church, and he had the exact same experience. And so he's walking down the cement walkway, and he's kneeling, not kneeling, but he's sitting down at the curb, and he has his hand he has his face in his hand, and he feels really, really bad, really rejected, and he has tears in his eyes. And he heard a voice coming from the clouds, coming from the sky. And he said, "Leroy, my son." He goes, "What's the matter?" He goes, God, I'm just trying to find a church where I could pray to you, and where I could bring my family, and
Right.
so I could feel good.
Right.
And he goes, but they won't let me in. And he says, don't worry, son. He goes, they don't even let me in.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about right there. You hit on it. I mean it, man. I mean, it's like all those years being go to nursing homes and do the preaching, be on the bus to help people on the bus, elderly people on the bus. It's like, why am I doing this? Because everybody behind their backs are just crapping all over each other. I'm tired of it. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, you're to help them see the light.
Yeah.
You're to help to see the light.
Well, that was when I was like 13 and 14 years old, though.
So you have to remember this: love and spirituality has no boundaries.
Right.
Are no boundaries when it comes to love and spirituality.
Right.
And it has no prejudices. It has no nothing. Love and spirituality has no prejudices and has no boundaries.
Yeah, but everything that I had seen back in the day, and I'm going to say it right now. Sorry, guys, you know me. If you know me, you know where I'm from, Arkansas, in a Southern Baptist church. That's all I ever saw. Every day, every time, every different church, it was the same thing.
Well, it's up to you to help change that. So, want to know something? I'm going to tell you another story that I read way back when, about 40 years ago, from this little book. You'll like this.
Okay.
So, two men walk into the church. Right? It was a Sunday. It was a full church, and the preacher is practicing about Jesus and practicing about being a good person and about doing the right thing and about believing in God and about believing in Jesus.
Right.
And they're practicing all these good things.
Right.
I mean, or they're preaching all these good things, not practicing, but preaching all these good things. And so two gentlemen walk into the church with their camouflage, and they're holding guns, and they cock their guns.
Yeah.
And they said, who's ever willing to take a bullet for Jesus, he goes, stay. If you're willing to take a bullet for Jesus. And like 98% of the parish left. They ran out of the church. 98% when he said that. And so the two men sat in front of the church in the pews, and he looked at the father, and he goes, "So, okay, Father, all the hypocrites just left. Continue your sermon." Right.
Okay, I get you. Yeah, that's hardcore, but that's that's kind of true. I mean, that's hardcore looking at it, but that is kind of the way it is. I mean,
what are you willing to do for your neighbor? And they're preaching how wonderful Jesus was for all of mankind, and he was willing to die for your sins and do all this and that. And it's like, well, are you willing to do that for him?
Right.
And so that was the purpose. Like, yes, I would do that for him too. And so the two men walked in.
Yeah.
Who's willing to take a bullet for Jesus? And they all split.
Yeah, that's put up or shut up, right?
Right. And
yeah.
he just sat in front, and he said, okay, Father, all the hypocrites left. Continue your sermon.
That's amazing. Very cool. Okay, we're running out. We're going to run out of time. I want to let everyone know that you are on, good Lord, you're on New Jersey 101.5, right? XTU.
No, that was back then. Right now, I have a Facebook Live show that I do every Sunday night.
Okay.
Called Angels and Answers. If you go to artiehoffman.com,
okay.
ARTIEHOFFMAN, artiehoffman.com, you'll see my Facebook Live show. Well, now it's going to be Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. It's usually 8 p.m., but because of the situation, what's going on around the world and the country, I brought it down 3 hours.
Okay. So, well, that's cool because we're on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern.
I read for people for free, and on the show, only on the show.
Only on the show, okay.
If people want to book a private reading with me or a party, then I could do phone readings, and you could go to artiehoffman@gmail.com.
Gmail.com, okay.
artiehoffman@gmail, or just check me out at artiehoffman.com. And it was a pleasure sharing time with you.
I love it, man. It's great, and I hope we can get you back on.
Sure, no problem.
I'm sure we can talk some more about a lot of things. I mean, kind of talk to you about...
Let me ask you something.
Yes, go ahead, please.
So, you're going to have to talk with your congressman or something about this, or the governor of Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm not there though. I'm not there anymore.
Well,
that was a long time ago.
Because
That was a long time ago. I'm back. I'm in Indiana now.
all right. Well, you have the word Arkansas, and SAW is SAW, and it's SAS.
Yeah.
But if you take the AR out of Arkansas, that's Kansas,
Yeah.
and they spell it Kansas,
Yeah,
not Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas and Arkansas.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
The
know.
word Arkansas.
Yeah. Love that. But, it's been a long time since I've been back. Most of my family are there. Most of them are either in Oklahoma, the Cherokee
Wow.
part of my family, or the other side up in the Appalachians, and they just disappeared. So, but, yeah, love the old places. But, I just came up here I'll be honest with you, I came up to Illinois because I met a sweet little girl named Michelle Boyd that I fell in love with. So that's how that happened, and then we moved over to Indiana. So we've been here ever since.
I hear you. Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you very much. We will have you back on. I hope you want to come back on.
Yeah, sure, not a problem.
Okay, and this is Artie Hoffman, intuitive life coach, medium, healer, and a motivational speaker. And you can find his book at Amazon, right? Angels and Demons.
Angels and Answers. It will change your life. You're going to think that I wrote that book just for you.
Right.
It is a very detailed, easy-to-read book, and everybody who reads that book will specifically think that I wrote that book just for them.
Okay.
It's going to have a lot of aha moments.
Very cool. Oh, let me ask you one more thing. I'm looking at your profile here. You actually were booked to play the Trump Plaza, right? And in France, right?
Yeah.
How'd that go? Was that cool or what? I mean, that sounds like a really, really big deal.
It was a big deal. Well, with the Palace of Versailles, they asked me to perform there. I was asked to perform there, and they heard about me, and I could not go, but I was good enough to perform. They asked me to perform there, all expenses paid and everything.
Cool.
And
very cool.
I did perform at Trump Plaza 2 times. But yeah, I was supposed to perform at the Palace of Versailles in France.
Yeah.
And I was asked to perform there, and I couldn't make that.
Oh, well, next time. Not right now. Not right now. Yeah, obviously.
But I'm waiting for a follow-up phone call so it can happen.
Very cool. Okay. Hey, guys. Artie Hoffman, Angel and Answers on Amazon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, and we will have you back.
All right. God bless. Take care of yourself.
God bless you, man. If you guys are anything like us at the Dead Zone, you probably already have your calendar filling up for the entire year. Well, you need to save a couple of dates open. I'm going to tell you why. We've got something really cool coming up, and who better to tell you about it than friend of the show, Robbie Thomas. How's it going, buddy?
How's it going, dude? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing much better than I was last night,
Yeah, we went through this, didn't we?
Yes, we did, and man, I'm telling you, the more I tried, the worse I got. I just had to quit.
It happens.
Yeah. So, you've got a tour coming up.
Yeah.
Let's hear about
2020.
that. Yeah, 2020, and it's in several different states, right?
Yes, we are. We're going to be kicking it off in Ontario, Canada, in Windsor. From there, we're going to boot over to, I think it's Indiana, and then we're hitting Michigan, and then we're hitting Ohio. Pennsylvania's on the list, and then I think we're coming back to Michigan.
Right.
There's a lot of dates, actually. And the theme of this, you're going to love this. You ready for this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It's all law enforcement based.
There you go.
We're going to be hitting every prison, every jail that's haunted you can think of.
Right.
From Jackson Prison in Michigan to the Crown Point,
Indiana. You heard that, guys.
Yeah, throw that out there. Indiana, folks, I'm coming, you Hoosiers.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I'm loving it. I love Indiana, so, I mean, why not throw that in there? And I might want to hit there again So we'll see what happens.
That would be cool. That would be very cool. Yeah.
Wouldn't it? Yes, and come down and do a live show with you, maybe.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're dying for that, man. We've had John how many times, and we just never can get you in the studio. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. We're in like a temporary setup right now, and that's why we're having some issues with the microphones and all that. I think we've explained that to everyone. But yeah, that would be great, man. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
So there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Don't fill up your calendar just yet. Check these dates, and if you want to go ahead and just name them one more time, the dates, the actual dates, so people can get an idea of what they need to do to get the time off.
You got it. We're kicking it off June 6th in Canada. We're heading over into July, and actually the end of June and in July, we're going over to America, and we're going to America.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and we're going to be hitting Indiana in July.
There you
We're going to be hitting, oh my gosh, Michigan in August, Ohio in August, and everything, all the information, folks. You can go to robbiethomas.net. That's ROBBIE Thomas.net. All the information's there. It's going to be a great time. What you're going to see and what you're going to get done is this. I'm going to present all the murder cases for the last 30 years. I've worked with like the U.S. Marshals, state police, sheriff's offices, and you name it. And we're going to put them up, and we're going to go through all the cases, and then I got cases I've solved that nobody knows about, and then I'm going to test everybody's ability. And then we're going to go through the workshop and how the procedures, the techniques, the legalities of all doing this with law enforcement. And if you have the ability, you really want to learn more and broaden this is where you're going to learn. I'm endorsed openly by law enforcement, and they wanted me to do this, and this is what's going to happen. So we're going to do that, and then as a bonus, some of these places, we're going to go do a ghost hunt.
Do a hunt. All right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. So there you go. I mean, you're not just going to go get a lecture. You're not going to just be talked to. You're going to be interactive, and then you're going to have a great time afterwards. So that's really cool.
Oh, definitely. I'm going to make people work on this tour. They're not just going to sit there and listen and stare. They're going to work.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Okay, well, man, like you say, I hope we can work it out when you do come back through, that we can have you in here. And I appreciate you coming on and letting everyone know. Is there anything else you want to let us know?
Nope, just be sure. 2020, 20/20, I see 2020. It's a Robbie Thomas Psychic Profiler Tour. It comes off the Psychic Justice Tour 10 years ago.
Right.
So when I was down through the States 10 years ago, remember that, Lee?
Yep.
That's when I did all the cases.
Right.
Now you're going to see what happened after.
Very cool.
You're going to see who I put in jail, who got arrested, and yada, yada, yada.
Very cool. Very cool. Man, I can't wait. We're going to have to have you. We're going to have you come on the show in between, maybe.
Sometime in between.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, we don't want to blow anything. We don't give anything away. But yeah, that would be very cool. All right. Well, thank you very much, sir. This is WDZR DB Dead Zone.
Now, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Come on, want to die in infamy? Come on, kids, raise your guns to the sky. Don't you want to be the monster they say?
It all has to come to this. The day of retribution. It all has to come to this. I will have my revenge.
Are you the fear you made a celebrity? In the world's edge, a bad and run out of me. My mind is a weapon program for prime time. He's gone as a god that plays through the headlines. Come on, kids, raise your guns to the sky. Don't you want to die in infamy? Come on, kids, raise your guns to the sky. Don't you want to be the monster they say? Rise with me. Rise with me.
This is Keith Age, and you're listening to The Dead Zone.
It seems like you're always
This is the Dead Zone Paranormal Radio Show.
Thanks for listening.